Welcome back to Backyard Builds. On this episode, we're back out at Dan's.
Howdy all.
Dan's going to give us a walk around of the wagon. It's actually running now, and show us what he's done and what his plans with it are. Solid half hour. For a solid half an hour. You always cheers the camera.
Yeah. Mate, just in case you wanted it, there's some Andrew Lloyd Webber song and dance, sorry I should say.
I'm probably pretty good, mate, but...
You're not much of a dancer?
Nah.
No? Okay, neither am I.
Saxon?
What?
Andrew Lloyd Webber, How to Dance?
Never heard of her.
Found these in the back of the car. This is Webber's TV. I was hoping this was like 1987 version of Playboy or something like that, but it's more like 1987 version of Man Love, I think. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, that's Zach's all over.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so anyway, we've had a bit of a tidy up with the old car when it came back from Adelaide. Car has a lot of rust, a lot more than first thought, but Zach will show you as you come along, all these little black dots in the paintwork was surface rust, and they are everywhere.
So just a bit of a tech tip. How'd you deal with them?
So, without damaging the paintwork too much, using very, very fine steel wool, hot soapy water, as much soap as you can use, and just work the marks with the soapy steel wool, and it gets rid of all the rust and it sort of protects it a little bit. Then you go over and use your cut and polish and buffing and that sort of thing. And as I'm going to keep it as a survivor car, it's okay. It's okay. From 20 feet away, it looks unreal. Up close, it's just not so happy. I've got some patch repair panels to fix these parts. I figured it was probably cheaper than getting Saxon out here to do it on a weekend.
His rate's pretty high.
Yeah, I've heard. I've heard. I like the guy who's expensive, but does good work though.
Different colour vinyl roof.
Yeah. So we cleaned up the old roof, just using Prepsol. It's more of a thing with the old owner, Christine, who was on the original video. She had always envisioned the car having a black roof. I personally think it looks a fair bit better with a black
I like
roof.
it goes better with the stripe.
Yeah, it works, it gels. The old wheels that are on here, they were off my Fairlane.
Which we might have a look at next episode.
We might have, yeah, absolutely, yep. Got the two-piece, two-way tailgate working, opening and closing, doing what it should do.
So if any of you are worried about if the car is in good hands, we'll show you Dan's Fairlane and then you can decide yourself.
Like this. Or like this.
I like the swing.
Yeah, so that's the way it's meant to work.
A lot of people commented that it was a two-way tailgate.
Yeah.
But it was pretty stuck when we picked it up. So
it was very stuck, yeah. So about 3 weeks of spraying WD-40 down in the mechanisms, which are down inside the window in there, which you may not be able to see.
We'll give it a go.
And eventually it came free. So a lot of cleaning. The car was reasonably dirty.
The interior is still pretty good in it too.
Yeah. Front seats aren't flash, hence why the seat covers are on there, but the seat covers, it works really, really nice.
So another thing with leaving the paint is, like, you won't be worried about driving this to the pub, down to Woolies.
Absolutely not.
You don't need to park it at the front of the pub and
that's right.
Watch it with the eagle eye while you're trying to eat lunch.
No, that's exactly right. You know, I'm going to be using this a lot, this car. And yeah, you don't have to stress so hard about it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I still will keep it in good order. That's what I do anyway. But yeah, it's a cool old thing. I really, really like it.
So a lot of people were saying that it's dealer delivered air.
That's correct. So I believe the Select Air was a dealer option. And another thing that we've found out as we've gone along too is it's probably not a factory GS car.
Yep.
It's more than likely a Fairmont as base, and I'd say this car has just been stickered up.
Okay.
As it's gone along in its life, and that's how she bought it. She bought it in, I think it was in 1981 or 82. Drove it for 5 years, and then it went into the garage there at Adelaide where we pulled it out from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone did comment that the GS Stripe was only a $60 tick box.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Back
from
when
a dealer
ordering.
option. It doesn't have a GS dash in it. It doesn't got all the fancy gauges up the top and that sort of thing. So it makes me think. I still haven't got verification from Ford yet. I'm waiting for that to come in. But I think it was just a yellow XB Fairmont wagon.
Bright yellow XB Fairmont wagon.
Yeah.
You have asked Ford for
the verification
on both this
Yep.
and the coupe,
and the
you?
coupe as well. Yeah. Yep. I have.
Now,
So-
talking about the coupe,
Yes.
coupe is still
Hidden away.
hidden away.
Yes. Yes, it is. And no, I didn't buy it. Neither did Zach. Neither did Tom. Neither did Nick. What a lot of people may not understand is this deal's been in the making for 2 years or better. I've known Chris for longer than that, but the idea is that these two cars were part of her divorce settlement. I was always interested in the wagon. I bought the wagon from Chris, and part of the deal was that we go over to Adelaide, pick it up, and pick up both cars, and then we on-sell the coupe on her behalf. Doesn't like dealing with people, doesn't want to deal with people who are trying to rip her off, and we've got a good story to go with that too. We had a gentleman go over and value the cars while they were still in the shed before we got across there.
Yeah, so it was because of the spicy cough.
Yeah.
It was a bit hard for us to get over there.
Yeah.
And
yep.
this deal had started 2 years ago when everything had kicked off.
Yep. Yeah, so.
And with Adelaide border restrictions, it was easier to send someone who was already there to have a look at it.
Which they did.
On Dan and Chris's behalf.
Yeah.
To make sure it was worth our time to go over and get it.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
And what happened there, Daniel?
Well, he offered her at the end of the day, we can boil all the shit away, but at the end of the day, he offered her $10,000 for both cars, which will make most people vomit, as we know. I paid more than that for this car, and it's a rusty mess.
It's not a case of we know what we've got, so don't lowball us. It's a case of being fair.
Yep.
Like market value at the moment for anything old is ridiculous.
It's rising, absolutely. So I have a good friend of mine who has purchased the coupe. I just worked as the in-between man. I didn't make any money out of it. It was all dealt between Christine and the buyer. Christine's very happy, absolutely happy with the price. She couldn't believe the car could possibly be worth as much as it was. And the new buyer is ecstatic as well because he's bought his dream car.
Yeah.
And
she's not retiring off the coupe?
No, hell no. Hell no. Absolutely not.
It was a fair price for both buyer and seller.
Yep,
absolutely. It wasn't above market value, it wasn't below market value, it was valued at what the vehicle was worth.
Yep. Once we got it back here and had a good look over it.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, that passes all.
So
this is my wagon.
We should be able to keep some updates on the coupe as well as we go along.
Absolutely, yes. I've spoken to the new owner about that, and he's quite amicable for us to probably do what we've done to this.
Yep.
Is get it running, get it driving, get it registered.
So is that something you guys would want to see? Is a will it run video?
That's right.
Will the coupe run?
Because this one did.
This one was locked up, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Cylinder number 8, as far as I can tell, was the cylinder that was locked up on it. I let it soak for probably about 2 weeks.
What did you put in there?
Mate, I used automatic transmission fluid.
Yep.
And inox.
Okay.
With the 2 fluids. This is my lovely fluid.
Bit of a magic soup.
A little bit of a magic soup, yeah. So and then just gentle pressure on a breaker bar with all the belts off, and away she went.
Yep.
Number 8 spark plug had rust all over it, so I'm assuming that was the cylinder that was pinched up.
So new battery.
So yeah.
Master.
Yep. New heater hoses.
New belts.
Plugs, points. New water pump too.
Yep.
As well. Had to do that.
This would be the basic stuff you'd replace if you were to essentially pull a car out of a shed like we did.
Exactly. Yeah, they're just the stuff that helped make it run. So
new wheel cylinders all around as well, Dan was saying.
Yeah, new wheel cylinders in the back. Front calipers seemed to work quite well. All the pistons pushed back nicely, which was lucky. The rear brake line was blocked.
They Gerlock on the front as well? Or?
No, the Gerlock's on the front.
So very similar to what we put on Tom's HG.
Yep.
Same as what's going on my Valiant wagon.
Yeah, yep.
Pretty easy to rebuild if Dan has to.
Yeah, that's right.
Super easy to get parts for.
Yeah, none of the lights worked, which was a challenge. None of the headlights worked. The spotlights didn't work.
And you had no gears, you were saying?
Yeah, it had no gears as well, which was... There'd been some, how can I put it? There'd been some mouse in the house with this car. So, a few odd things.
Not the Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yeah, he'll be fine, mate. He'll handle it. It's all right. So, the nut, this is a little bit different, but the nut was missing off the end of the alternator pulley.
Okay.
Don't know why. It just was. There was a nut missing off one of the band adjustments on the automatic transmission as well, which was then causing the transmission to leak a lot of fluid very quickly once I first started it.
It's an odd place to go for a nut when you need a nut.
Yeah, it was. It was. So I'm wondering whether bits got pinched off this
for the
coupe or not. I don't know. Anyway, so it was just a matter of finding out those things and just persevering. Just a great man once told me, he said, if you ever start getting overwhelmed with your projects, just do a little bit every day.
Yep.
A little bit every day. Whether it's 20 minutes, whether it's half an hour, doesn't matter. And then by the time you get to the weekend or a weekend where you're free, you've actually achieved a hell of a lot.
We do very similar.
Yep, just chip away at it.
Even if it's just ordering something for the day.
Absolutely.
That's still something contributing to your project.
Absolutely.
So quick question.
Yes.
Did you put the air cleaner top fuel tune back in it?
Mate, I tell you what, I've even snuck a couple of extra degrees of advance in there.
Look out.
Just a couple.
Look out.
But yeah, we'll fire it up and it should run. It was a bit cranky to start in the shed, but hopefully...
Pretty smooth.
Yeah. Would you believe that the vacuum gauge still works on the dashboard as well?
Oh, for the brakes?
No, the little one for the engine.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Not super loud. Big, nice little cruiser.
Very quiet. Very. Compared to the other car, yeah, it's very quiet.
Yeah. So the plan is to leave it yellow?
Absolutely.
Just keep it as it is?
It's going to stay yellow. It'll come to a point where I will finish refurbishing the outside of the body.
Yep.
And give it a paint job, but it'll go yellow again.
Yep.
Yep.
Keep the vinyl roof at that point as well?
Yeah, if I can, or if I can. It is not in great condition.
Yep.
It has got a lot of cracks in it. And they are everywhere, and I mean they're everywhere. So I'd be interested in finding out when, why, or how I can maybe put another roof on it, because I'd like to keep it vinyl just because of the history of the car.
Yep.
Yep. I'd be happy to put another vinyl roof on it, but. And the other fun job too, this purple tint. This purple tint.
Yep.
It's not funny. There you go, just stop. On this window was the only odd window out of the car that had it on it. And I was 4.5 hours getting it off. Using a steamer, using heat guns, using whatever you like. Because the tint's so old, it came off in slithers that were about that long, and about that wide.
It sounds like you're about to make it someone else's problem.
It's going to be. Yeah. Someone with a lot more
Hi.
patience than me.
I'd like to get my car retinted.
Yeah. No. Not by this little black duck. So yeah, I ended up leaving the purple stuff on these windows, both sides and on the back, until I am extremely bored one weekend.
Yeah.
Possibly maybe even drunk.
You've got enough to do without being extremely bored.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well,
anyway.
Thanks for the walk around, Dan, and
That's
thanks
all
for
right.
clearing up the information on the coupe.
Yeah, no problems.
I think we'll make this week's code word globes, because they look pretty good.
Go right, don't they?
They suit the car.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Thanks for watching, and
That's all right.
we'll see you next week.
Thanks for having us.